Hello everyone, my name is Aisha Hersi and I'm a peer advisor in the Department of Political Science and also a recipient of the 2025-2026 Political Science Scholarships. Within this video, I aim to provide some relevant tips to the personal statement within the application. Scholarships offered by the Political Science Department take two forms. They are either merit-based or need-based. As you may already be aware, all political science scholarships are administered through one application. The application opens in late January and is open for approximately 1 month. It's very important to note that in order to apply for need-based scholarships, applicants must have the FAFSA on file for the following academic year. Students who apply then are usually notified in late April or early May. For today's session, we'll be focusing on the personal statement, including key things to remember when writing a personal statement in college, the pre-writing stage, the writing stage itself, and finally, a recognition of additional resources students can utilize. As always, we encourage you to reach out with any questions to pauladvise@umn.edu if anything within this session is unfamiliar or confusing, or if there are any questions you'd like answered. Now, the personal statement students write before college and during college, though similar in nature, must showcase different trajectories. What I mean by this is that a high school senior may have considered aspirations to seek out in college and displayed an emphasis on interests they developed in high school. In college, the statement should then showcase how you demonstrated that interest during your time at the University of Minnesota. We'll discuss this in more detail as we consider the academic stage during the pre-writing stages. The emphasis, however, is that these two statements are very different in how the student presents themselves. If you have access to your high school personal statement, give it a read. It's always nice to remember your why within this process. There are two components to consider when you're thinking about how to reflect your personal career and academic interests within the personal statement. It's integral for whoever is assessing your application to get an understanding of not only your interest at the surface level, but the factors that contributed to that interest. Now, some guiding questions when considering what contributed to your interest include reflecting on your personal experiences, any internships, and any identity-related contributions. Understand that reviewers don't expect you to speak at great length about your experiences, but you should be able to connect your interests to any aspirations you carry. For example, you can have academic interests that don't explicitly reflect within experiences, but do show up during your time in university. Political science students are interested in a wide array of topics, including things like international relations, public policy, and political theory. Feel free to take any of your academic interests and reflect them by explaining how they developed and how you've applied them. The second part of the pre-writing stage includes considering your academic trajectory. There are three main components to this, such as evaluating courses you've taken, any academic interests you've developed, and finally, how those two have contributed to your postgraduate decisions. Postgraduate essentially means any role, career, or graduate school education you're interested in after completing your bachelor degree. The reason why reflecting your academic trajectory is important is because this showcases how your political science major potentially contributed to your overall goals. Once you've completed this pre-writing stage, take some time to formulate drafts with the material, topics, and issues you've uncovered. It's integral to proofread your work before submitting and even utilize your friends, peers, and university resources to provide additional feedback. The reality is that spending as much time on an initial draft can allow you to continuously edit what you already have. Now, as a University of Minnesota student, there are a plethora of resources available to you. However, it can actually seem overwhelming to identify the right one. The CLA Center for Writing, though, is a phenomenal resource to use for essays, personal statements, and more. Support is provided at both the pre-writing stage and the writing stage. And finally, it's important to note that no one knows you better than you know yourself. No AI tool will reflect who you truly are. You should be confident in your ability to represent your best self within your writing. Best of luck to you all, and please reach out to pauladvise@umn.edu with any questions at all regarding anything discussed within today's session. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.